Raider Nation, what's going on? It's Mitchell Rentz here, host of the Raiders Report, and today's show is sponsored by Panda Subs. If you need some awesome workout protein, if you need something to help you concentrate a little bit better at work, I recommend the Nootropics Focus. Use code TANK at pandasubs.com for 20% off. That link's in the comments and in the description of today's show. So good news, the Raiders did something that was actually pretty smart today. We're going to talk about what that was exactly. We're going to get into the injury news. I know a lot of y'all are probably wondering what's going on with Aiden O'Connell. Some of the roster moves that the Raiders made today, because there were a ton, and I mean a ton, of roster moves. And then at the very end of today's show, I'm going to give you some good news around one NFL team that hopefully puts a smile on your face. So the thing that the Raiders did today that I thought was a really good move, and I made a video a little bit about 3-4 hours ago on this, was the Las Vegas Raiders. They signed Andre Carter, who was on the Minnesota Vikings practice squad, to their active 53-man roster. The reason why I think that this is a really good move is because he's an absolute athletic freak. He is our Vikings guy. The moment that the signing happened, Vikings guy, his name's Seeps, you guys have seen him a few times on the show, runs over to where Chugs and I are at, and he's like, dude, you guys just got a real one. And, you know, I think a lot of times some fans don't realize how good certain players are, but in the offseason, sometimes you fall in love with like one of those UDFA players. And I think for a lot of Vikings fans, they fell in love with a guy like Andre Carter. The reason why I think that it's a really smart move by the Raiders is multiple reasons. The first reason is, and I say this all the time, I think Patrick Graham is a good coach. I think Rob Leonard is a good coach. And when you put those two together and then you put a really good athlete in the room, and then you put Max Crosby in the room. I know he's banged up right now, but every defensive end looks up to Max Crosby in that room. And I think when you add all of those things together, you get the most out of a player. So for a guy like Andre Carter, he went to college at Army, and there was a lot of people that thought that he could potentially be a first-round pick based on the athletics and based on the athletic traits alone. So when you look at what the Raiders have done with somebody like a K'Lavon Chaisson, a player that everyone's like, this guy stinks, he's not that. You see K'Lavon starting to figure it out a little bit. I think that's because you get good coaching, really good athlete, and you pair that with a really fun defensive end room that's filled with a bunch of guys that just simply love football. Tyree Wilson, I'm telling you this right now, it's starting to click for him. K'Lavon Chaisson, doing a lot better. And it's all because I think of the good coaching and a guy like Max Crosby. The other reason why it was a smart move to make is because, you need bodies at the defensive end position. And don't get me wrong, I'm Team Tank all the way, but still, you got to be able to fill out a roster. And going into that Monday Night Football game, you had 3 defensive ends on that active roster. You had Janarius Robinson, K'Lavon Chaisson, and Tyree Wilson with the 3-game suspension with Janarius. I think for the Raiders that, they're like, all right, this season's kind of over with. But you brought in a player that, I'm not kidding you, if you told me at the end of next season, or I guess end of this season, hey, we're going to bring back K'Lavon, hey, we're going to bring back Andre Carter, I think that those are really good players that have some high upside. Yeah, we don't know what our coaching staff's going to look like next season, but I do think it's a smart move by the Raiders. So how about this? If you agree that the Raiders signing Andre Carter was a smart move, all I want you to do down below is comment smart. I feel like we used to say smarten up all the time last season when we were talking about Mark Davis. So I thought this one would be a fun one. Comment smart if you agree with me that the signing of Andre Carter is a good move. But you know what? That wasn't the only move. The one that pains me to see it, I knew it was going to happen, was the Raiders officially placed Max Crosby on season-ending IR, and they also placed Sincere McCormick on season-ending IR. With some of those corresponding moves that the Raiders made, they signed running back Chris Collier to the active roster. He was obviously on the practice squad. But then the Raiders also signed 2 other players to the practice squad. Isaiah Spiller, I'm not going to lie, I liked Isaiah Spiller more when he was coming out of college. Went to the Chargers, so there's some connection there with Telesco. I'm not overly surprised that one ended up going down. And then this next name here, I'm not going to butcher it because I don't know how to say it. It is spelled O-V-I-E. That's the first name, O-V. And then O-G-H-O-U-F-O. Pronunciation is not my strong suit. If you subscribe to this show for my pronunciation of names, I feel really bad for you. Quite frankly, you should unsubscribe. The reason why I hope people, though, do hit that sub button is if you're looking for news, if you're looking for updates, we got you covered. Here at Chat Sports, we have walls that are going down. We're under construction. Chugs is actually off today. So, I don't have a producer necessarily here with me. But you know what? Anytime the news happens, I will always do my best to keep you up to date. So seriously, hit that subscribe button, turn on those notifications. In terms of the injury report, in terms of Aiden O'Connell, I'm telling you this. unless Aiden suffers a major setback, he's going to start this Sunday up against the Jacksonville Jaguars. He was a full participant today. So the fact that he was a full participant, I mean, again, and if you listen to the interview that a lot of these guys were talking with Desmond Ridder today, you would have thought Desmond Ridder already got cut. I mean, it was like, goodbye, Desmond. It's all steam ahead with Aiden O'Connell. And does Aiden make the Raiders better? Yes. Does he hurt our chances of tanking? Yes. I mean, this is the first game, and I don't know how long, maybe all season, where the Raiders have been favorites. Now, I've seen the line kind of go from Raiders plus, -1 favorite. I've seen it being even. This is going to be a very interesting game. Mac Jones, Aiden O'Connell, we're going to be sweating. And if you want to sweat it out with me, make sure you tune in. We're going to be live on Sunday. Other injury news here, Jordan Meredith did not participate. Alexander Madison, he practiced in full. Jacoby Myers, limited. Wouldn't be too worried about that one. Desmond Ridder practiced in full, and then Sam Webb was limited. So that's the news, essentially, for the Raiders on the injury front. Before I get into some good news if your team tanked, I do one more time want to talk about Panda Sup. So I'm not kidding you. As soon as I get done with this video, I am literally getting ready to go to the gym. I got my shaker here ready to go. This is what I always use on the gym. And then recently, and this is more of like a special one that they've done, my point and what I'm saying is I always use Panda Sup's pre-workout. Now, I had this one. This was like a special deal that they did a little while ago, but it's such a big tub that I'm still working on it. If you're trying to get into workout shape, and I know always how it goes is you eat a bunch of food during the holidays, and then it's New Year, New Me. But sometimes places give away some good deals right now, and you can get a good deal if you use code TANK for 20% off at pandasups.com. All right, the final thing that I want to talk about here today is around the New York Giants, and if you're a Raiders fan, the other team that you should be a fan of over the next 3 weeks is the New York Giants. And I say that because there's a lot of smoke around the Giants taking Shedeur Sanders. And what's interesting is, about 2 weeks ago, it was all Cam Ward's going to the Giants, Cam Ward's going to the Giants. Okay. Then you look at just the past week. Shedeur Sanders is in New York for Travis Hunter, for all these awards that are going down the Heisman Trophy. And there's a video that goes viral of Shedeur playing catch with Malik Neighbors. There's a video of Shedeur Sanders holding a New York Giants football. Deion Sanders this week was asked in regards to Shedeur playing with the Giants. Deion's okay with his son playing for the Giants. Shedeur was asked would he be open to the idea of playing for the Giants and the Raiders, and he basically was like, I'm going to be okay wherever I go. My point is, and the reason why where there's smoke, there's fire, is there's a lot more discussion right now around the Giants being interested in Shedeur Sanders. And, if you watched an interview, I want you guys to look it up. It's around Pac-Man Jones. Pac-Man Jones is sitting down with Deion, and basically he's like, if the Giants have the number 1 pick, Shedeur's going to be the pick. So a lot more conversations around that. So if your team Shedeur, unless the Raiders have the number 1 pick, and based on the way what Deion said, he was like, the Giants won't trade out of that number 1 spot. Now, I've been a Cam Ward fan. I'm more of a Cam Ward fan than I am Shedeur, but Shedeur's been the number 1 pick, I would say, for the Raiders. He's playing A for the silver and black. Just makes it a little bit interesting. Some of y'all are probably like, Mitch, how is that good news for Team Tank? That's not good news for Team Tank. Good news for Team Tank is that Drew Lock is going to be the starter this week against Atlanta. The Falcons also bench Kirk Cousins, so it's going to be Drew Lock up against Michael Penix Jr. First start for the young rookie QB. Usually that's better than not good. I mean, we saw week 3, right, when Andy Dalton absolutely torched the Raiders. There's no tape yet on Penix, so there's a lot of unknowns. But maybe because there's unknowns, it could lead to some bad things. I mean, the Giants do have a good defense. I know they got exposed last week against Baltimore, but Lamar Jackson right now is just on an absolute warpath. Dude's got 34 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. Guy's hot, right? He's smoking the ball right now. But I think for the Raiders fans out there, you need to root for the Giants, because if the Giants get a win, that is a really, really big help for us moving forward in terms of what the draft picks are looking like. Because Raiders and Giants have 2 wins, and then there's a handful of teams that got 3 wins. Because of the Raiders' strength of schedule, we cannot afford to win one of these 3 final games. So the good news is Drew Lock's getting the start. He's the best quarterback for the Giants, and he's better than Tommy DeVito. The Giants need to win a football game. All right, y'all, I'm getting ready to hop on out of here again. I'm going to go work out. Shout out to Panda Subs. Chugs and I are going to be live tomorrow on Thursday, AFC West Showdown, the final Thursday night football game. So we're going to have extra shenanigans. I hope if you're a real one and you appreciate what we do here, you pull up. Even if it's just to say hi, even if it's to just chug a beer or two with us, and I mean it, pull up tomorrow. We're going to do some special things for a lot of the real ones out there. All right, y'all. Peace out. Andre Carter, welcome to the team. Chris Collier, good to have you on the active roster. Max Sincere, please sincerely heal up as quick as humanly possible. And it's good to have 2 extra players on the practice squad. An active day for the silver and black. So reminder, though, again, tomorrow, live. We're going to be live it's going to be math, not my strong suit, 7 p.m. Eastern time. Hit the subscribe button, turn on those notifications. I'll see you guys then. If you want even more videos around the Raiders, click this subscribe button right here. I promise you, you're not going to want to miss a lot of the content that we put out. And then if you're looking for even more videos, right here. And then if you're looking for even more videos, I got you covered over here. Content comes out every single day. Raiders news happens every single day. We don't slow down because y'all don't slow down. So if you're a real one and if you got commitment to excellence, right here, subscribe.